basically scripted. Like the whole event, or like some of the fights were rigged or like scripted basically, because the UFC all know it. Because this man, right? This man appeared in two matches at the same time, and many patients like are reporting going blind. I believe it's like 1,300 patients. Man, it feels like I haven't done a podcast in forever. But it's just been 2 weeks since the last episode. But I had to like take a break because I had some stuff going on, some personal stuff that I won't bore y'all with. But anyways, welcome back to the First Pump Podcast with me, your boy JOSH. Man, it felt kind of long. Like it's been more than 2 weeks, but it hasn't. But anyways, because I actually love doing this. Like dead ass, man. I love doing this, even though I've just gotten into it. Like it already, like I said in the previous episode, it feels like I've been doing this for about like 2 years or something. You know what I mean? But anyways, welcome back to the First Pump Podcast. If you're the first time um watching this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I rarely even say that. That's probably like the first time I've said it even. But anyways, make sure to like, yeah, comment, subscribe, because yeah, support it as you support, we grow together, you know. Because as you can see here, like this man walking somewhere, like on the screen, because it looks too like this, like it looks too clean over here, you know, around me. So I had to put some decorations or whatever. Like it's just like this type of guy who's just like walking up and down. Let's give him a name, actually, Joe. His name is just Joe. Anyways, yeah, guys, welcome back to the First Pump Podcast. So yeah, a lot of stuff's been going on, man, since I've been gone. And like obviously they got the UFC 250 down, Freedom, the White House lawn fight. Um, but basically they just ruined it in one go. You know why? Because they just revealed themselves that it's basically scripted. Like the whole event, or like some of the fights were rigged or like scripted basically, because the UFC is scripted, and we all know that by now. Because Daniel Cormier just released some screenshots of him texting Eric Trump, or Eric Trump DMing him, saying he's gonna be in attendance, and asking Daniel Cormier if if some of the fights are rigged so he can bet on them. But straight away, Eric Trump heated on X, and he said like, no, this is fake. That's why they were like deleted so quickly, because Daniel Cormier deleted them. And Daniel Cormier actually responded to. He said like, nah, about it, it's fake AI generated stuff that's going around, and it's so he basically said it's not true. That, like, he said that they never even contacted each other. So basically, what Eric asked Daniel in the text is like, he's gonna be in attendance, like asking if any of the fighters are injured that he knows about, and just asking if any of the fighters are rigged, because he wants to place a bet on one of the fights. He was actually targeting the Lopes fight. And in the text, as you can read, he says like, an upset wouldn't be too unrealistic. But obviously, them denying it, kind of backs them on like being fake. The text being fake, but I don't believe them. Obviously, because they went out into the public, they have to like how can I say this? They have to deny it by saying no, this is fake, this AI generated. Daniel Cormier says he's passionate about the UFC. I believe him, but y'all know Eric Trump. That man 100% texted Daniel Cormier asking if the fights were rigged. Daniel didn't do anything wrong in my view, but it was Eric, and he basically exposed the UFC 250 cards, the whole thing being rigged or scripted even. But I do I I don't believe Daniel. I don't believe Eric. Like they saying that the text were fake. I don't believe them. I believe it's real. Even could be AI generated. We don't know. Like everything these days, AI looks kinda realistic, and it's hard to tell. But from my POV, I think those things were real. But let me know in the comments y'all's thoughts because I want some viewers engagement. You know what I mean? Like that's how we grow. That's how we interact. That's how I get to see y'all's point of view and not just mine because this is basically just me yapping my own thoughts. But anyways, um, yeah, man, UFC 250. Let me know what y'all think of the whole event overall because it's basically just like a like a payload, like the whole event. It's just about money. Like I heard Daniel White, no, not Daniel. I said Daniel White. I heard Dana White said like it's about over 500,000 just to repair the garage where the thing was held on. Like one side of the garage, it's over 500,000 to like to restore again. But that's crazy, man. But anyways, but yeah, we all know UFC is a rig at this point. There's no like, there's no doubt. But actually, they're kind of ruining the sport, man. They're ruining the sport. Like we know sports are rigged these days and scripted. Like WWE just came out with Unreal. I believe it was last year or the year before that, 2024. Yes, they came out with it. Oh, I believe no, it was last year. They came out with Unreal, basically exposed the whole thing. But we already knew, but we had that a bit of not hope, but like in wrestling they call it kayfabe. But we have that like it was still alive, but now it's dead, and that's just facts, man. And actually ruining the sport here for us, man. Sports supposed to be like you're supposed to be shocked when something happens. Nowadays you can't even when an upset happens, you don't even know if it's real or not, man. Anyways, like even this World Cup that's happening right now, as you can see, I like the World Cup. It's kind of red hot right now, and I won't lie, I'm kind of enjoying the World Cup right now. Yeah, I'm really into this one actually. Before when it started, I was like, nah, man, this is gonna be a dry World Cup, man. But as soon as they got in like match day three, you start seeing the stuff. You start seeing the games turning on and stuff. But anyways, so I was I just watched Toy Story 5. Don't hate me for that. I know like I'm older, but I know it's kid stuff. But obviously I watched it back then, so I have to watch 5, right? Don't judge me for that. So I watched it. So I watched it 2 times, and the first thing I've noticed, right? So when I watch something the first time, I'm just watching clean for my enjoyment, or for my like when like the normal when you watch a movie. But for the second time, I watch like for details and stuff, stuff like Easter eggs and stuff. The first thing I've noticed, like you know, with Lillipad, right? She scrolls through the internet forum and she comes across like this thing pops up on the screen. How deep is the ocean? This picture, so that picture, right, is actually the same copy and paste from Finding Nemo, the same screenshot from Finding Nemo. And if you really watch Finding Nemo like hard, it's like that that specific for part where like Dory, right, meets Marlin, or Marlin meets Dory in the open sea. And it's cool that they like throwing little hints and Easter eggs, like references to other stuff. They was just like throwing stuff to Pixar movies and properties, you know. Like it's cool that they like kind of give us a shout out to these I almost say creators, but these other companies, and these other movie people. Like The other part is like where they, if you look in the group chat, right, and you see, I believe it's like Bonnie's friends, you can look at their avatars, and I believe it's Chelsea's avatar, which nods to the this year's picture. I believe it's like a film, Harper's it's called. So that's like a reference to that, and I think it's Carter's profile that references way back 2000. She had a blue jay, and that was like some kind of reference to that Birds movie. I can't really get to the title right now, but I've watched it actually. I wasn't born in 2000, but I've watched 2000 films before because I love to watch cartoons back then. So it was like I forgot what the title is, but I immediately recognized the Blue Jay. I just need to look up what the title is. But anyways, I'm gonna even throw it up on the screen if I have it. So they actually a reference to that Pixar films properties is like kind of cool, right? And but the main focus that I focused on when I watched this movie for the second time is the fact that Lily Pad, right? You saw the scene with Jesse, like basically said, "I'm losing Bonnie to this screen or like this tablet or like whatever she said to this device." I immediately like took in what's going on right now with kids from like not just just to say this generation. You got the iPad kids, man. You got kids from like let's say 2015 down, or maybe let's take it out 20. No, I don't know. 2013, that's a bit older. Okay, let's say 2015 down, right? You got all these kids with iPads, these kids with phones, man. These kids aren't even playing out in the street anymore. This is come out, immediately get a phone, tablet, and there's the entertainment. That's gonna keep them occupied for about at least 7 hours, man. And that's how parents like parent the kids nowadays. They you lose the physical entertainment, the physical like emotion, not physical emotion, but you lose that emotion. Just sit there staring at the screen, like man. Obviously, you experiencing emotion too, but not the kind where like active. You know what I mean? It's just basically hurting your eyes. It's just like because you're just locked in. It's just like man, I'm locked into this. And when the next video is done, or when the next video done, we go to the next. Or when the next video done, we go play a game. Next video done, we go to TikTok. We go to YouTube. All this stuff, man. We lose the joy of playing outside or and coming in when like the street lights come on. This is the stuff of that's the type of stuff you won't see nowadays. Oh, like it's rare to see. In some countries, you still see it. Some countries that's like off the grid. You see it like I've watched like Top Gear or the Grand Tour, if you call it right now, and you see like when they visit these other countries, other African many African countries, you see these people off the grid, and they're just having the time of their lives because it's just outside, they're experiencing nature basically. They're not connected to any network. They don't even have wires like these wires you see in the street. They don't even have that. They have no electricity, just nothing. They just live off of food and just being outside and active and outdoors. You know what I mean? And another theory I baked out in my mind while I was watching for the second time. Because, right? Because Bonnie's giving all her attention to Lilypad and giving all her time to the screen, just watching, connecting to others, not even face to face, just like over the screen. These stories, like Woody and Buzz, like these guys, eventually are gonna like. if they're eventually gonna cut out, right, and eventually gonna stop moving at some point because they are living off of no, not I guess Bonnie's energy too, but the children's energy who play them, who play with him. They're living off their energy, and that's how they become alive. That's how they become like movable, basically. That's how they gain a consciousness because they are living off these children's energy, and that's so. I don't think there will be a Toy Story 6, but so that's just. If there's a Toy Story 6, come check this video out and comment down below. Not you lied, but you were wrong. This is it, you were wrong. If they announce a Toy Story 6. But anyways, because it's kind of true, right? They are alive because they are living off these children's energy because these children play with them with joy, with like passion or whatever. You're excited to play with them. You give off all this positive energy, and that creates something, right? Because energy is powerful, man. And yeah. So that's basically just my take on Toy Story 5 and some Easter eggs that probably some of you noticed, but not everyone. This was like a reference to Disneyland in the which I won't touch because that is obvious. They just threw it on the screen and well, everyone knew it was Disneyland. But anyways, so if you're watching the World Cup, right, everyone is talking about it. Some say, even I say, right, the FIFA president, he is clone, bro. And you know why I'm saying this? Maybe some of y'all know it because this man, right, this man appeared in two matches at the same time. How could that be? Obviously, it is. Obviously, straight away, they say that these pictures were edited. It could be true, could be false. We don't even really have proof, but many of the people say it's edited, which which I don't know. That to me, it could be like if you look at the other photo, right? This man is like this in there, and in the other picture, he's like turning like his face. There's a more expression on his face. Where in the other game, the other photo, he's just like this. You just see like black eyes, which kind of looks kind of a bit of a clone, right? So they're saying like obviously this man has a like a jet on standby, but there's no way you can go from one place so fast to the other in just like 10 minutes because those two pictures were 10 minutes apart, and that was crazy. Some shit like the one of the games was pre-recorded. Could be true, but I don't think so. All of the games were live. All of the games were like literally live. They won't, right? They won't pre-record the maps. That would that would be, or they they could actually. Now that I just thought of it, they could, but they wouldn't do it, right? But still, man, like we're still stuck. No one's answered the question: how did this man appear at two places at once? Still a mystery. Some say like obviously there's a clone theory, then there's teleportation. Some say he used like teleportation, which could be true. But my money is on the clone theory because that other picture, but it looks too like a clone. This man is just like this dog eyes. Where the other picture, I believe the other picture is him because there's an expression on his face. The other one is too basic. He's too calm, you know. But obviously, there's also this jet that everyone is talking about, which like it's a private jet that he's on, and but no way, 10 minutes apart, and that two stadiums hours away, same country but hours away. but he reaches it in 10 minutes to a private jet. Really? Are you dead ass? It's the same. Those two matches uh, took place on the same day, same time, but it was Group E. It was Germany and another team. I believe it was Paraguay and Curacao and Ivory Coast. I believe this man appears at both games. Let me know what y'all think about that theory in the comments down below, man. Not much to touch about on that because that man is rich. It can be possible. It can be. Or it could be pre-recorded. Or he just like left first off at the other game and attended the other game. Or there's another theory that they just cut to him. Like he makes sure the camera sees him, then he immediately leaves. He just wants the camera to shoot him for like those couple of seconds, see him there, and then he just goes to the other match. Like he doesn't watch the full match. That's what I'm saying. Could be not. Anyway, there's no proof really to back it up. So we'll just be stuck with that mystery forever unless someone solves it, man. But anyways, man, the absence has really like made me a bit shaky in front of the camera, man. Like I don't know if y'all noticed, but I'm actually talking kind of fast, like in previous episodes. Don't know why, because I've been in the camera probably like couple of times before this, because I actually had a gaming channel too on YouTube that I just gave up because I didn't have like much energy and I didn't then like have much ideas for that channel. But it actually didn't do too bad, but I just left because I didn't like. So like I said, I didn't have ideas. I didn't have energy. I didn't give much attention to it, But this channel, this podcast, I want to go. I want to see this podcast like 300 episodes, 500 episodes into the future. You know what I mean? But I'm actually working on an acoustic album too that I'm busy recording, which actually also occupied me last week. That's why I couldn't shoot an episode. But I'm working on that. Yeah, man, I'm just working hard. When you work hard, you will see the results. That's the word of the day. When you work hard, you will see the results from JOSH. But anyways, let me move on, man. Like time flies when you're having fun, I guess. There's this company called OZEMPIC, and these guys are being sued for billions of dollars because if you know what Ozempic is, it's basically some kind of drug, not drug, but this basically some kind of medicine that helps you lose weight or something like that. And many patients are reporting going blind. I believe like 1,300 patients report reported like losing their vision or like going blind. Some even have like some kind of thyroid cancer. So what it does, it like reduces blood flow to the optic nerve, and the CEOs and the company is getting sued for billions of dollars, man, because this is serious. He didn't explain to them like the after effects of the usage of this product. It displayed the warning label, but he didn't make it clear enough. Because if you know when you're using a product and you know the after effects, you'll be cautious using the product. You know what I mean? These people are like, damn, it's serious. These people are losing their vision. Some some even have this cancer, but it is crazy serious right now, man. So Any of y'all have OZEMPIC or use OZEMPIC, nah, don't do it, man, because this is a serious case that's going on, and they're probably like gonna lose like over $1 billion. I don't know how much. Like I believe it's 20 billion they're getting sued for. It's crazy, man. That's a crazy amount of money if you're a company. That's a huge loss. But she should have owned them. That's why you don't use much medicines, bro. Like get healthy, eat like the natural way. Like do some exercise, do some training, eat healthy, bro. Get a diet. Don't use all these stuff people give to you, all these doctors give to you, because when they cure you, they're basically losing a client, if you know what I mean. A patient healed is a customer loss. You get what I mean. So they have to like throw you back at some point. You know what I mean. So I understand if you like need to use the stuff, need to use medical stuff that they prescribe to you and all of that, but try to like get yourself healthy, like as much as possible. You know what I mean? Because it's at the end of the day, it's your health, man, and you know what's best for your body. You know when you're not feeling well. You know when you're down, and you know when your system is but you know. So just try to like heal yourself where you can. But if you get serious, you probably should go. I'm not advising you to not use the stuff these people suggest to you, but just read into it, before you use it. But anyway, that's just my advice. I'm not gonna go deep into that, but that's just my advice. But anyway, so I was reading this comic book, right? It's like a Marvel comic book. I like reading comic books, but not like physical ones, like because you don't get it really anymore. I basically read it from my phone, like digital, but they still come with like the covers, like the OG covers with like it's basically the real thing, but just digitally. You know what I mean? Okay, so I was reading this Marvel comic, right, and I read it. Nothing insane, just basic Marvel stuff. But what really caught my attention is the cover. I believe this book was like from 1980s, from 1980s. And what I saw, right, the, the cover of the book had like two buildings next to each other, like two separate buildings, and two explosions on top of the buildings, which immediately pointed out 9/11. Like this book basically predicted the the 9/11, like the cover alone, because that was before that happened. And when I looked into it, they had more stuff. Like they had this Batman book, because this isn't Marvel, this is DC now. They had this Batman book, same thing, two buildings, some type of explosion happening between them, which refers to 9/11. And then I watched some movie posters. You have the Die Hard poster with Bruce Willis, two buildings with Bruce Willis in the background, and these two buildings are exploding. They're basically like showing us, but they basically like laughing in our face right now. Like we already showed you these things years ago, years earlier than the actual event, because they actually call this predictive programming. They actually have done it in quite some most of the things we watch. They do this predictive programming. If you watch The Simpsons, you already know The Simpsons predict like all the future events. They predicted the coronavirus. They've predicted like the everything. I can't even name it right now, but they predicted basically everything. This was this book which almost, man. when I like saw the summary of this book, it was like crazy. Almost the same actual events predicted what happened to the Titanic. I'm gonna put it up on the screen. What's the book's name or somewhere over here? Just put it up. Like this is the book's name. Go look into it. Go get a summary of the book. I just touched the tripod with the camera standing on. But anyways, go like go look at this book, bro. When I saw the summary, I was like, what man? This is basically the same events, like similar, not the same, but very close as the Titanic, and this was years earlier. I believe it was like the 1800s that this book was like written and published. This is crazy, crazy predictive. So it's called predictive programming, and like the elites use this to like basically um desensitize us to what's gonna happen in the future. Even stuff we're seeing right now, we take it in, right? But we don't take it in like this might happen like say 10 years from now, 5 years from now. Everything that we taking in right now, like basically all the movies that's going on right now, it's about like clones. Because Steven Spielberg like Disclosure Day, aliens, and what's happening now, Alien Files, all this stuff. They're trying to. I don't want to say prepare us because that would be something good. They're trying to prepare us for something, but that they're not trying to prepare us. They trying to shut us down basically because what predictive programming does, right, is basically a way the elites are like they want to like do something, right, but they feel like they need our consent. If I just hang with me with this, they feel like they need our consent, not like verbally, but we don't take it in because we're just watching. So we don't do and nothing, and we're like, and they're like, yeah, okay, they're giving consent. So as they take this in, we desensitizing them to this. So when it happens, they will feel like, nah, I've already seen this. This is familiar. And guess what? When you're like familiar to something, you won't get the urge to stand against it because you already know it. You already know what's gonna happen because it kills the resistance. When you're familiar with something, it kills your resistance to be against it. And when they do that to us, any type of media we take in, we don't take into context because we're just watching, we're enjoying, we're laughing. Just like Jim Carrey said a few years ago on the Jimmy Kimmel show, we they're making us laugh, they're making us tussle, like we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. You know what I mean? We need to take this in. This is actually kind of serious. Yeah, predictive programming, man. Look into it. Why not look into it, man? Because we need to get this out, even even though we can't really do anything to it because we're just gonna keep doing the same stuff. And even I'm gonna still watch media without like taking it into context. But I'm just like giving y'all like some thoughts of mine, you know. So yeah, predictive programming, desensitizing us to stuff. So when they introduce like new laws, new like world wars, stuff that is basically crazy, but we already were desensitized to it 10 years before. We it won't be crazy 10 years later, if you get what I'm saying. But anyways, man, that's just that's just the way of the elites trying to control, man, trying to take over. And man, it's getting quite scary. Like that ass is getting scary. Even can't even listen to the right music anymore. Well, any music anymore without there like being some kind of story behind it. I saw this video, and we all know the weekend. This man is straight up the money, bro. This his concert is basically
Anyone else
a
think these
ritual, man.
concerts
If
are demonic?
this concert, oh, it's all red. So all red is basically like replicating like hell, bro.
It's
At
one
this
big
point,
ritual.
they basically trying to pull in
They
the
are
people
harvesting your
because
energy like the
they already
sun
know
does.
they're going right. So they're trying to take it as much people as they can. Actually, let me at
Be
this time
aware,
next
y'all. Be
minute, let me
careful.
actually like throw up the verse of the day. Um, somewhere in Matthew, can't get to the numbers right now, but it says like there are two paths, bro. One is wide, one is narrow. A lot of people are going on the wide path, and the wide path leads to like damnation. The wide path leads to like just just suffering and tormenting, bro. Where the narrow path leads to like heaven, like like you're gonna be walking on gold streets. You're gonna be it's just gonna be united with God forever, you know. And that's where we need to go. Many people are going down like the wide the wide road, or like the yeah, which is man, which is sad, man. Yeah, we need to do as much as we can to actually try and stop it. Me myself included. But anyways, yeah, man, I think I'm gonna end it. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn those notifications on, and as we progress, we get better together. Yeah, uh, yeah. Please just support me further, man. I know it's been a while since y'all saw me, but yeah, I'll obviously continue to keep posting and continue to keep bringing you these stories, bringing you these theories and stuff. But yeah, anyways, sup guys, and yeah, I'm also creating like a TikTok. Uh, that'll be maybe in the comments or the description. Just check somewhere. But anyways, sup.